What should I do? Just slit, excuse me, just slit my wrists, or should I do something else? I think I'll do something else. I just dropped a bunch of shit on the floor. I have too many boxes of shit in my life, so I'm going to condense, take off what I don't want, throw that away. These things I will use. That. These are for maybe wheels of a tractor, legs of a man. I don't need some of this. Triple washed. Maybe I'll use this little thermometer. It could be rectal or oral. Anyway, what I'm doing is just throwing away a lot of stuff I don't need because I can't even breathe in my house right now. So I'm just going to take the part of the box, come on, that I will use. Am I going to use these for anything? I haven't yet. There's always tomorrow. Tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. Do I need these straight lines? I'll just keep one. I realize that cardboard is not ever going to be out of style. As long as there's a rainforest to destroy. Okay, I think I can probably throw this huge piece away. I always get a huge piece if I need it. Part of a Courrier box. I'll just save the part that I can here. I was thinking for my project I'm working on right now, which is the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel, I might choose to have a little table set up in front with some little pieces that of cut up cardboard, and people could make their own little figure. And they just set it there, and what I would do is I would glue their creation together and put it on my art. That way people can have sort of a participation. They can help build it. I think I might do that, see if anyone wants to. Help me out. See, I can throw this away, even though it's almost a mask right now, but I can throw it away here, throw it away.
Will you be here for a bit?
Yeah,
Like an hour?
yeah,
I'm gonna leave these, it's warmer than I thought it was. I'm
okay.
gonna leave these in the corner, so I don't have to come back upstairs.
Okay, just set them right there on the floor, where it's clean. desk. Okay, I don't need this one, but I might use it for these little pre-cut out bits. I've got enough of those. Here's some Mercury. The best part of it is falling apart, so we'll just take that off. Here it's falling apart again. This one is kind of not falling apart. Okay, this I saved because of the blue liner, which I really liked. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm going to continue to save it. There's a plan I need to do next, which involves making another sign. The next show we're having is called The Blue Show, after this one. And the Blue Show is going to have things that are blue, hence the name, The Blue Show. Now people can choose to interpret blue as a color, or blue as a mood, or blue as X-rated, that used to be, or the blue laws, which was to avoid people from sinning on Sunday. In Massachusetts for many years, when I first moved here, you were not allowed to buy booze on Sunday because Jesus wouldn't like that. Something stupid, equally stupid as that. And see, I like these little dotted lines. They're going to come in handy when we do the pink show. Maybe if there's such a thing that will happen. Do I need any of this? This is sort of gray, which I kind of like. And I need for a particular project I'm working on, part of the what do you call it? Tower of Babel. I want gray. Gray is going to be the color of the dodecahedronic, or whatever the adjective would be for a dodecahedron. That will be a dodecahedron that's colored gray, and that will be above the. I'll just save this little monograph for shits and giggles. Okay, done. That can be thrown away. See? I'm throwing away stuff. Okay, what am I doing here? A dodecahedron is going to be the thing out of which the lightning bolt will appear, causing all of the builders of the, whatever you call it, the Tower of Babel, the builders of Babel to disperse, speak different languages so they can continue to fuck, which is what God wanted them to do. God was a voyeurist, I think. I think he just wanted to watch people. Okay, Captain Morgan. I just wish that the color was not so pale and brown. I think I'll put this away. Throw that out. Next. This is pink, this is white. Keep the white. Not that white is all that important. Because I can always find more white if I want to. But do I need the pink? Look, it has its own pubic hair printed on that one. The piece that was cut out of here said it was for a hair product of some sort. And it said, women are strong, healthy, beautiful, and hairy. So maybe that was a pubic hair thrown in there just for verisimilitude. Now, do I need this? No. Throw that out. You know, I'll regret, and I'll immediately say to myself, why did I throw out that thing? Save the white. See the, the Tower of Babel here is only done on one side, so I do need white and black to finish the back at some point, but I don't have enough time, and I'm already sort of getting bored with that part of it, so I'm just gonna do the one face. Okay. It feels like you're slowing down, Peter Gustafson. It's not what we want. There's more white. Just gonna throw it out. Look at this. This is sort of abstract. If you want this, let me know. Add to shopping cart $1 million for that beautiful piece. You know, it's going to be, I'll be dead by the time people want to buy art again, even though people are using art to keep from slitting their wrists during the coronavirus thing, since they can't play sports, which is what they would be doing if they could get together, probably, or shooting each other, which I guess they can do, because you can shoot someone from further than 6 feet away if you so desired. Where was I going? Oh, art. Well, creative people like me do things with our little fingers and our little brain that create things that people don't even know that we did it. Someone had to design the computer game that you're looking at. Someone had to decide that the background was going to look this color or that color. Someone had to write the words on the page of poetry that you're reading to keep from slitting your wrists. Someone had to decide what note is going to go after what other note. in the music you're listening to. Those are artists. Those are what we call artists in the world. And though we are the last people that you might think should be fed in a famine, we don't need them. We need the lawyers. We need the plumbers of the world. We need the people that make the toilet paper. Yeah, you need those too. Maybe not the lawyers, but you do need all the people that we have on this planet to make the things, to create the things that you're using right now. This computer that you're watching me on, or this device, this phone, it was created by people that were creative in their field and doing things that no one else had done. And some were doing them to make a buck, or $1 million, or $1 billion. But some of us do it because we like to. And it doesn't cost anything to look at the artwork that I do. So, you're welcome. Well, I've thrown this much out. This I'm saving. This is to be thrown out. See, these are what, all of these things that I'm saving or throwing out, I'm either going to use or not. You know, one big cardboard box might contain the cardboard that makes this one person. Maybe this one required 2 big cardboard boxes for this part. Sometimes one big cardboard box will make a whole family of figures. So, but I know I probably don't need this piece. And if I suddenly need a big piece of brown cardboard, I can easily find that any day of the week, by just almost any day of the week. This was going to be something, and I sort of stopped, and I realized that it's a toupee. I thought it was going to be a hat or a mask, but now it's a toupee. What do you think? I have to add a few more pieces, and it looks, I'm just going to let you know, it looks as natural as any toupee that you could buy anywhere. It looks just as natural. So there you go. For those of you that wear a toupee, just stop. End of lesson. Okay, back to the Weird World. I love the way the 11th hour newscaster Brian Williams, I think that's who it is, he starts off with Trump making noise out of his pie hole, and then he says the next line out of Williams's pie hole is, and back in the real world, which is exactly what he should say, even though it's very, I can imagine our president deciding that that's fake news because it implies criticism. It doesn't imply it, it says it right out loud. And yes, we have every right to be critical of our president and call a spade and call a moron, because he's wrong in almost every single thing he does. And then he tries to backtrack and say that he knew all along and he was right and whatever. Okay, I can, the word love, who needs it? That can go right in the V is sometimes handy. It makes for a good pair of legs. Oops. And the E sometimes makes a face or a wheel. So here's a question for you. Write your answers below. The creatures that are going to inhabit this are going to be made up of mainly lettering. In fact, I think almost all of them are lettering. This one is holding a tool, which is made of a line and some letters. But what I was thinking is I also show these complicated machines. This one could conceivably be something that's from the Old Testament era, but some of them clearly are not. So should I, in my construction of this thing, should I have it be temporally correct? It means doing a lot more people, but I think the idea of, I think that makes more sense to me. It just means a lot more work because people are small and machines are kind of big, and the machines are going to be, relatively simple wooden things holding pulleys, pulleys lifting up big blocks of rock, masons being Masonic, lifters being lifters. So, but it would make more sense. I do sort of want this to be a realistic representation of the Tower of Babel, even though how can a fairy tale be realistic? You're asking. I can hear you asking. Well, a fairy tale that was written by a German, Grimm, let's say, can have the Germanic feel to it in an illustration. Ones made by Hans Christian Andersen might be perfectly good with a slightly gentler Nordic aesthetic. Aesop's fairy tales could be depicted on Greek vases. I want them to sort of match the thing, I think. So I'm gonna not do the trucks. I'll save those for something else. Am I even in focus? What would La Fontaine's fairy tales, how would they be illustrated? Never thought about this before, and brain cells, little synapses are firing that have never fired before. I kind of like that. See, that's sort of what artists do. I'm not pretending to be a great artist or even a good artist, but I am an artist, and an artist uses parts of their brain that they've never used before. And not only do you use those things and think about things that you never used before, I think a good artist and a great artist then thinks more about what they're doing and decides whether this idea that they just thought of is a good idea or not. And they're like a scientist at that point. They do little experiments in their head. Does this work or not? Or they do it on paper. Gee, this doesn't work after all. That's a bad idea. They're critically thinking. And that, I think, is what a lot of people don't understand. Oh, this looks so easy. Can you make one for me? Oh, by the way, I'm not going to pay you for it. You get that a lot. Someone asked me to do something for nothing. And I asked her in some, Instagram, I think it was, I asked her what she does. She wanted to know. I said, you pay up half of it, you pay up front, and then the other half you pay when I'm done. And she didn't quite understand that. What happens if I don't like what you do? Well, then you don't pay the other half. I asked her, I said, what do you do for a living? And she owns a grocery store. So I said, well, what happens if I buy groceries from you and make a meal and I don't like the meal? Do you give me your money back? Do you give me my money back for the food that I cooked incorrectly? And she said, yes. And I said, I want to shop where you shop, because I'm not a very good cook. And if I could get nourishment without having to pay for it, that sounds good. Anyway, people think that because it looks easy, it therefore is easy. Paganini, I dream that I can play the violin like Paganini. It's a dream. I have all sorts of dreams that have nothing to do with reality. Or paint like John Singer Sargent, because it looks so easy. Or sing like Bing Crosby. It sounds so easy. Well, it takes a lot of work to make it sound that way. It is not easy. And if you're asking me to do something for you, she wanted me to draw a picture of her man. Now, I might do a perfect rendition of her man, but she looks at her man very differently than I look at this photograph of this person. I might say to myself, God, he has lots of hair coming out of his ears. So I'll draw that hair coming out of his ears, and maybe that's something she never noticed, but I am drawing those hairy ears. So she may not like the drawing I do. But she's hiring an artist. She has a camera on her phone. She can take a goddamn picture if she wants to. She wants me, having seen the artwork that I do, to draw this person with the hairy ears in the style that I draw hairy ears, or draw things. I don't remember drawing a hairy ear before, but I can imagine I could, if pressed. Anyway, I'm on tangents here. I'm trying to throw things away. I've thrown that away and this away. I haven't thrown it away. I've just put it in the throwaway pile. This is a show that we're putting up now called Construction Destruction, and you have abstract, you have photographs, painting, mosaic, another sort of collage, mosaic kind of thing, other photographs, other drawings. And it's really interesting when we have these group shows based on a theme, what all of us think of when we think of the word construction and destruction. I'm rather literal. Here's the sign I made. Well, it's dark out here, but construction, the city being built, destruction with the rainforest being destroyed, and here's the machine doing it. It's chewing up the rainforest with its sharp teeth, and out of the back end of its poop chute comes the city. So, two of the four, well, if it was a human machine, two of the four sphincter muscles are being used to create and destroy at the same time. So that's what I'm doing here. Creation and destruction in the same image. Most people drew drew the before and after, or this one actually, this is a drawing of the view out my back window of the hallway. It shows a bridge right there. And they took the bridge down years and years and years ago, and now they're building a new bridge. The other bridge was really neat. The new bridges have to do different things, and they're going to be cool when they're done too. But and I'm not sure what other things are how they fit, because I haven't really studied them, but I will at some point. Okay, this has been 31 minutes and 3 seconds, and I'll get back to my destroying. Bye.